Come on. Come on. You know, I'm going to tell you, that dab had a lot of pressure. I was coached up on that to make sure I didn't screw that up. So, did I do okay, Nate? Excellent, excellent. B-dubs, that sounds awesome. It is an honor for me to be here tonight and to talk to you all. Let me start by asking you all, when you have pulled out your phone and gone to your bank app and you look at your balance and you start looking in your head and you're like, immediately start doing calculations like, okay, if I delay this payment, move this to next week, and maybe don't eat this week, I might make it, okay? So that was me. Not once, but about every single month. So I'm not up here speaking as a financial advisor to say, hey, I've always had it together. And I had one job that money was coming in, but it still was more month at the end of money. How many had that experience of more month at the end of money, okay? We understand what that means. So that is why I'm speaking here tonight. And I have titled our talk, Things I Wish My Younger Self Knew About Money. And before I dive in, if you could put the picture of my family up, I want you, that's my family. So, this is why it's important to me right here. So, some of you know some of these people. That's my wife in the middle, my lovely wife. We'll be married 35 years this year. She's right down here. She can't hide. She's down there. On the right in the green is my daughter Elizabeth and her husband Isaiah. They live in Tampa. And not that I'm counting, but in 37 days we will have a grandbaby. So, that's right. And then on the far right is Alexandra, who is sitting in here and hiding somewhere. Okay, she's here. And Nathan on the left, who you just met. Now, let me just tell you something. As a parent, every parent loves the opportunity to embarrass their children. I am standing in front of 400 of their closest friends right now. And so, can we put up the baby pictures I gave? Oh, I'm just kidding. I was threatened with my life, actually, not to do that. So, I am going to keep my relationship and move on. But I am going to embarrass myself a little bit today with some stories. And I'm going to start by saying that I would love to tell you that my family has always had their finances together. It's just not the case, okay? I've never told this story publicly. And I didn't want to do this, okay? I did want to tell the story, but I didn't want to do this part. So, bear with me. But I definitely wanted to create stability for my family. Didn't happen at the beginning, and here's why. Growing up, my family went through some really, really tough times. Lost our house when I was a young person. I was about 11 years old. When we were growing up, money became a constant source of stress and anxiety in my house. And we bounced from place to place, and we never were sure what was going to happen next or where we were going to end up. I vividly remember sitting and laying on this couch, awake, trying to sleep. Gross stained couch in somebody else's living room. I don't know why, but this sticks in my memory of fleas jumping on me, okay? It was disgusting, but it is where we were at the time. And in that moment, I could remember thinking, what is going on? Why is this happening? And at school, kids are brutal, okay? We know that. I did my best to pretend everything was okay. But the kids knew, and I knew they were talking. When you're the kid in the neighborhood that is living and bouncing around to different homes, you can hear the whispered conversation. You can see the sideways glances at you. It's tough. But the hardest part wasn't actually the instability. It was realizing my parents, though they genuinely loved us and tried their best, had no idea how to manage money. We didn't have to be in the situation we were in. And by the way, I did ask my mom if I could tell this story, so I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. Their parents were great people, but they never learned how money worked. And that's what I'm hoping to help you all with tonight. When they had money, they spent it quickly on other things that really didn't matter, or we didn't need. And when times got tough, which happened often, because my stepfather was an iron worker in the 1970s. And back in the 1970s, the construction industry was very, very not consistent. It was not good. There was a lot of layoffs, very unpredictable, and we would end up with nothing. In fact, we would go in 1 week eating very comfortably when money was coming in, to the next week when there was no money, eating canned beans, and I have eaten a lot of government cheese in my life, just so you know, okay? It's actually not that bad, to be honest with you, but I do remember the government cheese boxes. I don't even know if they do that today, but I have had it. So growing up like this taught me some crucial lessons, that good intentions and hard work alone are not enough to build financial stability, okay? Without knowledge, without the right mindset, and without a clear plan in place, it's easy to feel like money is controlling your life rather than the other way around, okay? With money being a constant stress growing up, unfortunately, I carried some of that stress into my adulthood and made some of the same mistakes my parents made. Had financial problems, created debt for ourselves, lived paycheck to paycheck without a plan. I thought that if I just made more money, that all the problems would go away. But that's not how it works, okay? And then one day I realized that I was letting money control me, and I needed to start controlling my money. So I started learning what God has to say about money. I want to share some of that with you today. This isn't going to be a spreadsheet conversation, as you probably can tell already. I realized that wealth isn't about how much you make, but it's about what you do with what you have. So if I could sit with my younger self, and let me tell you something about your younger self. You become an older self pretty quickly. I know it looks like a long time, but I was a younger self yesterday, and now all of a sudden I'm an older self. But if I could sit with the younger me, I would say, Mike, you are making this way too hard, and get your act together. Okay? That's what I wish I could tell. Can you put the QR code on the screen that's about notes, please? So one of the things I want to do is make it easier for you and to share things that I wish somebody shared with me. This QR code right here is just a couple pages of notes you can download to your phone to follow along. This way you'll have some scripture references that we're going to talk about today, and hopefully make things a little bit easier for you. So let's talk about the first point, which is your mindset shift. See, what you believe about money will make or break you. So let me give you a new way to look at money. See, you are not the owner of your money. You are the steward of your money. Okay? If I gave you $1,000 today, by the way, I'm not doing that. You guys go to B-Dubs on your own. But if I gave you $1,000 and said, hey, hold on to this for me and use it wisely, what would you do? Would you be careful with it? Would you track how you spent it? Would you use it on things that actually matter? Now, what if I told you that's exactly how God sees every dollar in your bank account? The same way. Psalm 24:1 says, the earth is the Lord's, and everything in it, the world and all who live in it. See, everything, including money, belongs to God. God owns it all. We are just managing what he has entrusted us with. So the real question is this: if God looked at the way you're handling money, would he trust you with more? See, a steward thinks differently about money. A steward thinks my money is not my own, it's a resource that's entrusted to me. A steward thinks my financial decisions should reflect my values, priorities, and not just my wants. A steward says, I don't serve money. I make money serve my goals, my family, and my godly purpose. 1 Chronicles 29:12. Wealth and honor come from you. You are the ruler of all things. In your hands are strength and power to exalt and to give strength to all. See, everything comes from God. Our wealth and provision comes from him. Let me give you a little bit of an analogy, or a stewardship analogy, with a bicycle. So imagine this parent gives their young child a brand new bike. And that child values the bike. He takes care of it, keeps it clean, rides it how it's supposed to be. The parent of that child is going to feel confident about giving that child more responsibility. But if you leave it outside in the rain and neglect it, misuse it, that parent is going to hesitate to entrust them with something bigger. Why? Because how they handle little things reveals how they will handle greater things. And that is what our money is also to God. That's how God looks at it. It's the same with our finances. If we manage what God gives us, he can entrust us with more. Luke 16:10. Whoever can be trusted with little can be trusted with much. If you want to be entrusted with more, start managing what you have with wisdom and intention. Now, we're talking about money, and they put us in the big room just because we're talking about money. They have now locked the doors in the back because I'm going to talk about tithing. So, when we tithe, we are not just giving away 10% of our money. What we're doing is giving back the first 10% of what God has already given us. It's a mindset. It's a heart issue. Malachi 3:10 says, bring the whole tithe into the storehouse, and that there may be food in my house. Test me in this, says the Lord Almighty, and see if I will not throw open the floodgates of heaven and pour out so much blessing that there will not be room enough to store it. But see, here's the thing. God isn't just concerned about the 10%. He's not just concerned about the tithe. So let me repeat that. God is not concerned only about the 10%. He's concerned about the 100% that he's entrusting with you. Okay? That's a mistake many Christians make. I gave my 10%, I'm good on the 90. That's not really the deal. We need to be a good steward of all of it. So tithing teaches us to put God first in our finances. But true stewardship means that we're trusting him with all of it. The sooner you start to trust him, the better. Because no matter how much you give, save, or plan, if we don't trust God with our finances, money is still going to be a constant source of threat or stress. See, I took the drink one word too late. So let's be real. And I know this for sure, that money isn't just numbers, but for most people, it's stress, anxiety, and shame. If you ever have avoided checking your bank balance, you know exactly what I mean, okay? But ignoring it doesn't make it go away, it makes it worse. So Proverbs 3:5-6 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to him, and he will make your path straight. See, when we depend on ourselves instead of God, your financial stress is going to get worse. When we trust in money instead of God, we will never feel like we have enough. And when we trust in our own ability instead of God's provision, we will carry unnecessary stress. And when we try to control everything ourselves, we'll worry instead of walking in his peace. So financial stress isn't just about lacking money. It's also about losing sight of who your true provider is. Matthew 6:31-33. So don't worry saying, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink, or what shall we wear? For the pagans run after these things, and your heavenly Father knows you need them. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. The fastest way to help reduce financial stress is to take one small step forward, but not just in your finances, but in your faith. You have to start with trust. Pray and surrender your finances to God, acknowledging that he is your provider. Amen. Take small steps. Don't try to fix everything at one time. Pick one action today, work on that, and take one step at a time. Create a system that will work for you. We're going to introduce you to a couple tonight. A simple plan will remove uncertainty and lower your stress. And then celebrate when you make a win. Okay, every step forward is proof that you're starting to take some control over your finances. And the best part of this is that once you start feeling better, you will start feeling better because you took action, even if it's a small step. So let's talk about taking steps. See, most people have never been taught a real simple system to manage their money that actually works for them. We have created a system, one of our systems called the D3 system, which is basically just 3 little steps to take control of your money. And the 3 Ds are discover, where is your money going? You need to be aware of where it's going. Second is desire. What do I want my money to do for me? You need to set intentional goals. And then the third is drive. How do I take action, commit, and follow through? So in the next few minutes, I'm going to break these steps down for you and hopefully start taking control of your money, reducing stress, and making things work better in your finances. Everybody good with that? Okay. So let me start with step number 1. Figuring out where your money is actually going. So here's a little truth part for all of you. And I want you to be honest. And I can hardly see you, but we have people planted to make sure. Raise your hand if you have spent money on coffee, Uber Eats, or fast food this week. Come on now, I see everybody with a cup of coffee, okay? All right. Now keep your hand up. Keep your hand up only if you know how much you actually spent this last week on those items. Okay, a lot of hands went down. But thank God, there's a lot of people that have actually tracked how much they did. But 3/4 of those hands did go down because they're not tracking. And they don't have any idea how much they spent on those items. Okay? See, for most people, the one issue is not knowing where their money is going. And that's step 1. If you don't track your spending, it's like trying to fill a bucket with holes in it. The more you pour in, the more it comes out the bottom. It just keeps leaking out. You have to track. So the first step to financial clarity is paying attention to where your money is going. So what if that small, automatic little coffee food habit that seems very harmless could be the very thing keeping you from owning a home, building wealth, or saving for your future? So let's be real. Most of us don't think twice when we do a small purchase. It's just easy, quick, and done, okay? But what if I told you that coffee and fast food habit could be costing you over $1 million? I'm going to show you the numbers, okay? This is the only math part we're going to do, so everybody settle down. Okay, coffee, average $3 to $5 a day. So that's $90 to $150 a month, or $1,000 to $1,800 a year just on coffee. Fast food, the average meal today, thanks to inflation, is between $12 to $15 a meal. Okay? If you eat out 5 times a week, that's $60 to $75 a week, which is $3,000 to $3,900 a year on fast food. So total spent on coffee and fast food is between $4,200 and $5,700 a year. So let's take the low end, $4,200. That's averaging $350 a month. Okay? So here's the crazy part, and here's some bad news, actually. Most of you are going to work for the next 30 to 40 years. Okay? I am so sorry I had to say that. Don't throw anything at me. So let's say that instead of spending $350 a month on fast food and coffee, you've invested $350 a month and earned 8% over the next 40 years, you would have over $1.2 million over that 40-year period, added to your retirement. Today, I help people retire. That's my job. That's what I do. And let me tell you that one of the main issues that prevents them from either retiring sooner or having a comfortable retirement is that they did not save enough money. And I wish somebody would have told me that. Oh my God, I wish they would have told me that. Because most people did not save enough money. If you ever have a question, fall on the side of saving it, okay? If I could tell my younger self to stop wasting money on things that don't matter and save it for my future self, can't go back. You guys have that choice right now. So am I saying never to buy fast food or coffee? I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that small automatic habit spending adds up in ways that you don't realize. If you could even reduce that by 25%, that's $300,000 for you at retirement, extra money. So here's a challenge before you go spend. Ask yourself these questions. Is this decision supporting my future self? Is it part of my plan that I have put together before I spend that money? Am I spending money with intention, or is it just out of habit? Is this an experience, or am I just satisfying an urge? So let me talk about that for a second, because I believe investing in relationships and experiences is much more valuable to your current and future self. But be aware, your flesh will tell you to spend on every urge that you have. Every one of them. And that's why we're driving by, we're just pulling in drive-thrus and doing stuff. You have to have some self-control. So going out to dinner tonight with YA, I look at that, I'm gonna give you a little grace on this, because I look at that as a relationship and experience. What is not a relationship and experience is when we're driving down 59, you're like, you know what, a Starbucks sounds good, and you just pull in and grab it and you drink it and you're gone. Those are the ones that you should be trying to cut out. We want you to have relationship and experiences. But without a plan, this is a big point. Without a plan, your current lifestyle will always win over your future lifestyle. And it's going to cost you later. See, your current you wants comfort, convenience, and self-gratification right now. Done. That's why the urge in the flesh is going to tell you to satisfy that urge. The future you wants financial security, freedom, and opportunity. Your future self and family are counting on the decisions that you are making today. So give your future self a voice. Start making decisions today that your future self will thank you for. So to start making better decisions, one of the things you need to do is track your spending. We're going to give you some resources to help you do that. We're going to introduce you to a calendar system to help you do that. One of the things that we're going to do, well, I'm going to talk about this in a second, so I don't want to pop ahead, but the calendar system that we're going to show you is awesome. That's all I can tell you. It's a game changer. One of the things that will happen once you get the calendar system set up is tracking will become much easier. You're going to use your phone, your Siri or your Android, if anybody has an Android, to instantly track your spending. So I just went to Culver's. I didn't really, but I just went to Culver's. Hey Siri, schedule $15 for spending today. That will show up on my spending calendar. Later, I will go in and clean it up and say I spent $15 at Culver's, and then it's tracking. That is the easiest way to track your spending. We're gonna give you a resource on how to set that up. All right, now don't throw anything at me when I talk about this part, please. Okay? You need to review your Amazon spending. You're gonna be amazed at how much stuff you spend on junk that just doesn't bring you any closer to your goals, okay? Similar to the fast food and coffee example I gave you. So here's some ideas to help you with this, okay? You need to set up guardrails for Amazon. I'm so serious about that. You need to have guardrails. Here are 3 guardrails you can set up. Remove your credit card from their website. So now when you go make a purchase, you actually have to go and put your credit card in every time. Don't let it store in there. What it's going to do, it's going to cause you an extra step, an extra minute, and might change your mind that, you know what, I really didn't need that anyway. It's going to go from, bing, that's going to be at my house tomorrow, to, well, I got to get my credit card. It's just going to make it harder to buy, which is, Amazon does not want you to do that. Here's one I think would really change for a lot of you, is to only actually make an Amazon purchase once a month. Hear me out. Don't throw anything. What you're going to do is, as you think, oh, I need this, you're going to go to your cart and put them in your cart. So you're going to be building your cart over that 30 days. But only once a month you're going to go in there, enter your credit card, because it's not in there anymore, and you're going to look at your cart. What's going to happen is, stuff that you put in 2 or 3 weeks ago, you're going to realize, I really didn't need that. And the other thing that you're going to see is, you're going to see how much money it was, that purchase. It is going to make you think twice before you do it. See, everywhere we go, you drive down 59, everybody is trying to get to separate you from your money. The easier they can make it, such as Amazon's done, that's why Amazon is as big as they are. They have made it the easiest way to separate you from your money. You have to stick up for your money. You have to, okay? And then the third one is, stop doing Prime. I know, goes against the whole thing here, right? Nobody's throwing anything good. So when you stop doing Prime, now you have to pay for shipping, and it's not going to come quite as quick. These are things that will just put guardrails up. All right, I'm off of Amazon. You can unlock the doors. Taking an honest look at your money can be both painful and rewarding at the same time. But it's necessary if you want to move forward. Knowing what your income is, what your bills are, your debt, spending, what it looks like, is going to give you clarity. You have to acknowledge your debt. You have to know where you are. If you are in debt, one of the resources we're going to give you tonight is a tool to help get you out of debt. It's the debt snowball spreadsheet that we did make for you, okay? Haggai 1, 5 through 6. This is such a good scripture. Now, this is what the Lord Almighty says. Give careful thought to your ways. You have planted much, but harvested little. You eat, but it's never enough. You drink, but you never have your fill. You put clothes on, but you are never warm. You earn wages, but you only put them in a purse with holes in it. That is what we're doing. And I'm hoping your younger self can plug the holes up for your future self. See, God wants us to manage money. If we want to manage his money, we first have to understand where it's going. So let's talk about discover real quick. Desire. Desire is setting your goals. See, if you don't tell your money where to go, it will disappear. It will just be gone. It will evaporate. So right now, imagine where you want to be in 10 years. What does it look like? Are you financially free, or are you still living paycheck to paycheck? Do you own a home, or are you still renting or living with your parents? Are you able to give generously, or are you constantly stressed about money? The question is, are the decisions leading you to where you want to go? See, most people just let life happen to them, but successful people decide what they want, and then they create a plan. Proverbs 21:5 says, the plans of the diligent certainly lead to profit, but anyone who is reckless certainly becomes poor. So in the next 24 hours, what I want you to do is think about your money goals. What is it you actually want to accomplish? Do you want to get out of debt? Do you want to buy a home? Do you want to be financially free? Write it down, because if you don't define the goal, your money will just be spent elsewhere. It will evaporate. So this week, take one action on a goal. If your goal is to get out of debt, download our software and let our debt snowball help you. If your goal is to save for a home, open up a dedicated investment or savings account and start funding it. If your goal is financial security, automate your savings. That's not the automate yet. See, your financial future won't build itself. You have to take control of it. Let's go to the drive section of this. So we did discover, you set your goals, that's your desire, but now you have to take action. See, a dream without action is just a wish. This is where you stop thinking about money and start doing something about it. If you want to win, you don't need willpower, you need a system. You need to have a way to do this. Can you put up my other QR code for me? So this QR code here, this one, is where you're going to be able to download. We have a big favor to ask you too, but you're going to download some resources. What we have put together for free is we have a couple PDFs on, for those people that are about to get married or are newlyweds, how do you combine your finances? We have information on that. We have 2 videos, one for Apple and one for the 2 or 3 Android users in the room, on how to set up the calendar system. It doesn't actually go into how to use the calendar system, that's coming later, but it does show you how to set it up. And then it also includes the debt snowball. On top of that, when you enter your email and download, take all that resources, 100% for free. I've been here for 30 years, so they know where to find me. So we're not gonna do anything there. But we are putting together a financial course that I have decided to give to all of you for free. It will be done in about, Delia, 60 days or so. So we're about 45 to 60 days away from having it completed. So when you go and enter your email to download these resources, you're going to get emails from us, and then we will email you when that course is available, okay? And then we want you to download the course, start it. Now, this is a bit embarrassing. The other thing we want you to do is to follow us on Instagram. Now, I've seen some of your Instagram pages. I have one video that we put up about 30 minutes, or about half a day ago. It's bad. It's not great. We are just getting the Instagram going to get the word out to help people with their money. But if you all go on there and like it and pretend you like the video I put on there, that would be fantastic, and follow us. And then that's going to help you stay connected with us, and as we start giving out resources and information, you're going to be able to follow along. Okay, so would you do that for me? I'd really appreciate it. So we have 3 final steps, and we are going to be done. Step 1. This is one that many of you probably have not heard of, but it's follow the correct money order. See, here's what happens. Your paycheck comes in, and then you spend, and then if there's anything left over, you save it. And then if there's anything left over down there, then you give. That's actually flipped upside down. That's not God's way. God's way is paycheck comes in, you give first. Then you save. You pay yourself and your future self first. And then you spend on the bottom part. So flip over what you're doing if you're doing it backwards. So we want to give, save, spend, okay? And when we spend, we're living within our means. We'll go into much more detail on the course. Proverbs 3:9, I'm sorry, let me slow myself down. Proverbs 3:9 through 10 says, honor the Lord with your wealth and with the first fruits of all your crops, then your barns will be overflowing. So I'm going to get to step 2, which is automate your success. One thing that will help get you on track and remove stress is if you put stuff automatic. So set up an automatic giving plan where your generosity just happens soon, and it takes care of putting you in the right order. Set up an automated savings plan. Follows my give, save, spend. If you don't save automatically, you won't save consistently. And then when we teach you the calendar system, which will be coming your way, use that so you don't get caught off guard on bills that blindside people, and that's how a lot of people get in financial trouble. A system will remove stress and help put everything on autopilot. And then the last step, and I'm almost done, is the 30-day money challenge, okay? So winning doesn't happen overnight. It happens through consistent, small steps over time. So here's how I want you to take control over the next 30 days. I'm gonna give you some actionable things here. I want you to take an inventory of your income, your bills, and your debt, and get it clear of what's coming in, what's going out, and what you owe. Take an inventory. And then for the next 30 days, use your phone, use a piece of paper, whatever it is, track everything you spend for the next 30 days, okay? And start seeing where your money is going. Third thing, and this is something that probably nobody in there has ever heard of, but I'm gonna call it the 7-day money fast. And I'm gonna let you do that after you go out to B-dubs tonight, okay? So I'm gonna give you that. So if you do it from B-dubs to next week, maybe Portillo's, that would be your week. But what I want you to do is take 7 days where you don't spend money on anything except for gasoline, food from the grocery store, and your bills that are due. And we'll call that the 7-day fast. I'm telling you, that can be life-changing because it's gonna show you you can do it. It's also gonna encourage you, and it's gonna put you on track with God on how your money should be handling, okay? Set up one automatic money action. Set up an auto savings, auto giving, auto bill. If you do those 4 things over the next 30 days, and then hopefully shortly after that, our course will be out and we can give that to you, I think we can get you going on the right path. Your financial future is something that just doesn't happen. You have to take control. And it comes with one decision at a time. See, the choice is yours. You can stay where you are, or you can take that step to financial clarity and freedom. And I so encourage you, the younger you're gonna be an older you, and you're gonna sit back and remember this class, or this class. See, that's what I do. This service. You're gonna remember this talk, and you're gonna say, thank God I did that. Or you're gonna say, why didn't I do that? Don't be the why I didn't do that guy, okay? Because there's no going back. Trust me, there is no going back. Whatever you do, you're gonna have, okay? Take action today. Connect with our Dashing Upward. Music is here. I'm way over my time, I believe. Sorry, Pastor Mike. When we send you the course, do it. Please do it. If you love the course, we would love a testimonial. And we would love for you to share it on your Instagram. Most of you got 1 million followers. I got 7, okay? All right? And above all, trust God with your finances, because it's His money, and He's already given you everything you need to manage it well. The decisions you make today will shape the life you live tomorrow. Choose wisely. Your future self will thank you. Thank you very much. God bless.